Yes, YouTube, it is Ben Hawksworth at The Coach Consultant. Today, I'm going to be answering the big question, and that is the fitness industry saturated? Is it even worth being an online coach or a personal trainer anymore in this day and age when there's hundreds of thousands and millions of people doing it and it's really competitive? And I'm going to straight up say right now, yes, it 100% is worth doing it. The issue is the fact that everyone is just running their offers in the same positioning, and that's something I'm going to break down on a mirror board today. It's going to be a little bit different to the last one. A little bit more complicated, but hopefully you'll stay with it until the end to really kind of understand how you can position yourself against competitors, get acquisition easy, get sales easy, and obviously scale easy. But the main thing for me is the fitness industry is not saturated in any way, shape or form. It's more the fact that people's offers are. So I did actually want to explain market saturation with a sponge, but I don't actually have a sponge in the office, but I do have this blue cloth because my cleaner has all the stuff and she's taken it with her. So imagine that this is the market, right? If it's really dry, it's absorbent and it's ready to take on, it's ready to purchase, right? But if I basically got this cloth and I stuck it in some water, pulled it back out, and I've tried to put more water back into that cloth, I wouldn't be able to do it because it's full, right? It's full. There's too many people who are doing the same thing in the same area. So in order for me to obviously position my offer in a place where people want to purchase it, I've got to basically find excess space within this cloth, right? But if I keep continuing to try and push more water into this, there's no more space, there's no more room. So what you've basically got to think about is, one, finding a different cloth or a different sponge, or you've got to find ways in which you can extract water out there to then obviously fill in your offer and fill in your program and what you're trying to do. But that's the main thing I'm trying to get across to you is once it's full, you can't put any more into it. So it's absolutely pointless coming in and saying the same stuff as everyone else, talking about the same stuff as everyone else, providing the same stuff as everyone else, wanting to work with exactly the same as everyone else. And then there's a lot of other factors that I'm going to talk about in a second, which is about you aligning your personality, your experience and your authority to obviously a market and everything else. But the main concept is there, right? Once this is full, it's full. So if you are struggling, it's probably because you're trying to put water into this cloth what's already too full, or a sponge. Again, I'm so annoyed I don't have a sponge because it was so much better to explain it, right? And that's what I'm going to explain on this mirror board in a second, is what we need to do is we need to find a different sponge or a different cloth, or we need to find ways in which we can extract out of there and fill in all our goodness and make lots of money inside there as well. Right, guys, so I know you might look at this in first impressions and think, oh my God, that looks really complicated. And this guy's trying to tell me that it's easy to scale a fitness business, right? It will be once I've explained the square, because the square is everything. So imagine that this is the industry, right? Imagine that the black box around there is every single thing in every point of online coaching, whether it is strength, bodybuilding, fitness, physique, female health, physiology, everything. So that box is just basically every single online coach, right? Then basically what we've got is the left-hand side, which is revenue. So you basically see at the bottom, this is a 0 to 5K month example bracket, 5 to 50K month example bracket, 50 to 150K example bracket, which is way above that. We have clients who are doing well more than 150 grand a month. Then on the right-hand side, this is really important. We've got year 1, we've got year 1 to 3, and then we've got year 3 to 6, right? So what I am saying to you is, and you might be looking at going, what, 150 grand a month in that short space of time? Yeah. You do this right, guys. I swear on my life, you can earn 150 grand a month within a 3 to 6 year period. And I know that hands down because I've done it for quite a lot of clients. So then at the bottom, we've basically got product problem resolution. So that is basically the value of what you are giving. Then without question, the most important part at the top, which is basically points of differentiation. So, which is specificity. And then I put some examples here, which is another huge list, but I don't want to add too much onto the screen. So what this basically means is if you look at these yellow dots and then you've got the red ones there, this makes up an absolute huge bracket. So as you can see, there's more volume there, less volume, less volume. So what this basically means is there is a huge volume base of people earning 0 to 5K per month. I cannot express how many people who will ask me and turn around and say, oh, how many people are kind of around my bracket now? Most people in the fitness industry are around 0 to 5K per month mark. And I know that without question because I've worked with over 1,500 people in personal training education, online coaching education, one-to-one mentoring, agency, like you name it. So I know the ins and outs of this stuff when it comes to the fitness industry. Then in the middle, you do have quite a common amount of people who actually are on the 5 to 50k per month. That's quite obviously a big space, and I couldn't add too many on because it'd be too complicated. And then you've got a small percentage of people who are on the 50 to 150k per month mark. And what you'll actually find is people normally get stuck from 50 to 80 per month, which is really common. And it actually all comes back down to this same spot here. So this is the main thing I want to get across to you is if you are looking to start a business, if you are looking to scale a business, if you are at a sticking point in business, if you don't know where to go next because you've tried some strategies not working, if you're basically not sure what's going on or how to go, it all comes back to this. From 0 to 500 grand a month, it always comes back down to this structure. I can honestly guarantee it and promise you. I'll put my career on that being the reason why. It'll be some area within this structure that is off, right? It might be a case of you are not solving enough problems with your product. It might be a case of you are not creating enough points of differentiation and having enough specificity, right? It might even be a case of not having enough consistency of solving those problems with the points of differentiation, with the amount of specificity associated with all these lists here. So what you'll basically see as this type of like statistical graph here is the people who are in the bottom corner, they are solving the least amount of problems and they've got the least points of differentiation. So when people talk about market saturation, right, that is the saturated point. If you're in that bracket, and I'm not saying that you are, by the way, 0 to 5K, because you might only be 3 months in. So if you're 3 months in and you look at this, oh my God, I'm saturated, you might not be, guys. It's just the fact that you haven't given it enough time. And that's absolutely fine, right? So I'm just looking at this from a general perspective, right? Because there are people, I can genuinely promise you, who have been doing it 6 years who are all in this spot there, but it'd be very complicated if I had more onto that. So most of the people who are in this saturated spot and earning 0 to 5K per month have minimal points of differentiation to the competitors and what they're actually showcasing and talking about to their audience, and they are solving the least amount of problems. So one thing that I always say to people, and you might have seen me on my Instagram or on other videos, I'll always turn around and say, every single marketing effort that I will do, I will always match it with product evolution, right? So I built the Coach Consultant up to over £100,000 per month with, honestly, with hardly any marketing efforts, any ads, any outbound messaging, any lead magnets, anything. And I did that just from solving problems with my product. Right? That's literally all we did. I'm an absolute massive advocate of if you put a substantial amount of time and effort into your product, then you are going to create massive level points of differentiation anyway, just by being fucking better than other people. Right? And I know that might seem big-headed, and if you're a really good coach looking at this right now and you're thinking, oh, well, my product's really good and I get incredible results, well, you know straight away then, right, well, it's just how I'm actually presenting this with my specificity on pain, or the latent conditions that I'm highlighting of people I want to work with, or the isolation of my position of my offer or my niche, or it could be with my content, right? So the main thing that I want to say is, like, you never ever forget about your product. Like, if you want to grow to like 1 million a month, 500 a month, 250 a month, or even you might look at this and go, right, 10K a month, 20, 30, whatever, right? I always want people to go huge. Like, it's just what I'm about. Like, I want people to just blow the life out of the life and the business. Right. But for example, when we're looking at this right now, all this comes down to is that the more direct problems that you can resolve for people means that you have a higher value asset. If you have a higher value asset, then you are going to be obviously moving along this line, which then again, with points of differentiation as well, with time, you will 100% be earning a shitload more money. So that is why you will, without question C, within your niche, there will be coaches that you know who aren't very good at content, aren't really doing much in terms of outbound, aren't really doing much in terms of sales, aren't really doing much in terms of anything, but they're getting incredible results and doing really, really well, right? Then you have other people within your coaching section, within your market, who are absolute terrible coaches, but they are very, very, very good at content in terms of their personal brand, in terms of everything. So they've got a higher level points of differentiation and they're earning a lot of money as well. So if we put 2 and 2 together and turn around and say, right, if we create as many points of differentiation to the market as humanly possible, then I can come further away from from this crowd here. If I give it enough time by running points of differentiation, I'm going to take myself away from it. And if you can then solve as many direct problems for that person as humanly possible, you're going to be onto an absolute winner coming into this bracket, guys, over time. Like, this is evidence-based practice. So when you get taught like evidence-based practice in nutrition, physiology, and everything else on that side, this is evidence-based practice of market saturation, of developing a business, right? And this is, again, you can find this stuff online, but you can also take my word for it when I've been doing this for 10 years. So I'm pretty well endowed when it comes to these areas. And again, with other videos, you've seen why. It's because I've made all these mistakes. Right? I've been the person where I didn't put enough effort into my product. I've been the person where I didn't create points of differentiation. I've been the person who didn't give it enough time. And I've also been the person who was stuck around these brackets here rather than coming up into the top corner. So when we're basically looking at the two important variables that we obviously can control. So we cannot control revenue. You can turn around and say, I want to earn 50 grand a month, or I want to earn 100 grand a month. But you can't turn around and go, right, I'm going to 100% do that. Like strategy, if you look onto the S3 Smart Scaling structure, which is a resource that I send out, which is actually a link if you go onto YouTube, I can't remember where it is, but it's somewhere there. If you click onto it, there's a resource, and basically as part of strategy, basically explains that strategy is always in the unknown, right? And it's about potentiation to actually collect information, evidence, and structure to actually make the right kinds of informed decisions. So you can have a strategy to earn 50 grand a month, but it's the sub-actionables and structures that will obviously kind of come in and get you, because that's just a one, right? Something else that we can't control is we can't control time. We cannot jump down the line and go, sweet, I'm gonna be in year 6 and I've done everything right and I'm 100% going to be earning 150 grand a month, right? I can't even begin to express how much I would love to scrape back 6 years and do all the stuff that I'm doing right now over and over again, because I'd have earned a lot more money, a lot faster, I'd have had a better product. How good would it be to actually be able to turn back time and do things right from the start? Like, I would love it. The next thing is coming in and things that you can control. So you can control points of differentiation. You can control product resolution, right? So when we're looking at points of differentiation, this is about your offer positioning, right? How well you understand the niche, right? The customer persona. How well do you understand the niche, the customer persona's pain points in terms of their latent conditions off the back of taking no action? How is your content different to your market associated with your offer and your niche? How much are you focusing on your personal brand? What is the volume of content that you're putting across multiple platforms, right? How impactful are the impressions that you are making, right? What type of structures do you have for inbound targeting, outbound targeting? And again, that list could quadruple with the amount of stuff that you could add on just for points of differentiation. Now when we're coming into product problem resolution, which is basically a value asset and why people pay you, so that comes down to your program design, your program delivery, your program management, your program efficiency, your program evolution, your program updates, your program results, and just overall what your actual program is. So when we're coming in here, right, this is all about how much you are actually investing into your product, your program, right? And this is why I'm trying to say to you is if you do this right, and if you design, like once you've isolated your offer and your niche and you start evolving and developing an incredible product, that will give you points of differentiation just by how you are doing things. So as an example for me personally is when I come into the business space about 5 years ago, I was just doing one-to-one mentoring. I then turned it into the coach consultant, and I basically had a choice to make. I was like, right, what's the market doing? So the market at that time was just running group business coaching consultancies and stuff like that. And I was like, nobody's really running like a really high value info course model alongside having a multi-service one-to-one service delivery. So when I was an online coach, I was like, I really needed a social media manager. I really needed a business development manager. I really needed a marketing manager. I really needed all these people to actually help me. So that's what I did. So that's what I created with our one-to-one program, and obviously with the info course Propel projects as well, of Smart Scaling. And that, in my opinion, was one thing that actually has allowed us to excel in year one. It wasn't because I do believe that we have one of the best programs and products on the market, and I live and breathe that. And even now, I'm still evolving every part of it. But for me, it comes down to the fact that I position myself away from what other people are doing, and it was enticing. So that's where what we dive into, guys. We really heavily focus on like how can you be different, but most importantly, understand that what we do is we do it right from the start. That the results that we get are a byproduct of doing things properly. It's not doing it twice and having to pay twice. Is the concept of scaling smart, or the methodology, which is actually now a step-by-step structured methodology alongside subsystem actionables with S3 Smart Scale. And that's what I genuinely, completely, not truly believe when it comes to scaling a fitness business. So have a look at that, take a picture of it, refer back to it. And in your head, all I want you to think is, I want to be green, I want to be blue, I want to be green, I want to be blue, right? So, and when you start obviously going into a lot more detail, I can't go into it too heavily on a YouTube, because it genuinely take me 3 hours to go through all of those areas there. But that's what I want you to think, guys. Like, am I positioned in the same place as everyone else? Because if you are, that's the reason you're not making money. That's the reason you're not scaling. And I think one of the biggest areas where people go wrong as online fitness coaches is they're actually scared of being different. And I hate that, because that's the most exciting part about business. It's creativity, it's being innovative, it's making it about you and building a future that you actually want from this. And I think people are scared about that, but I can honestly guarantee, I can promise you, from endless amounts of experience, endless amounts of investments in myself, and discovering all these big questions, is if you are different, if you put yourself in a point of differentiation, if you prioritize your product, which all starts with doing it right from the start, that's where the real money is. That is where the real growth is. And I hope by watching this video, you've got more of an understanding of market saturation, and you hopefully feel a little bit more at peace with what you need to do moving forwards, because that's a big thing that I want, is people to look at that and go, oh wait, I do have a chance. Oh wait, I do just need to give it time. Oh wait, I just need to do it right from the start. So you don't trip yourself up having to redo it all, spending loads of money, wasting loads of money on different investments, or jumping at the next like shiny object, rather than coming and going, I want to do this right? Whether you're doing 50 grand a month now and you're struggling to scale, right, what we're missing all comes back to reviewing that whole process and making sure that you've got momentum and structure and everything behind you. So again, as always, if you want to know a lot more about that, or potentially even look at what we do at the Coach Consultant, if you go to a link somewhere around my bio, it's up to you. Again, the main thing that I want from this is to put as much free value out there as humanly possible. If you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe. I want to get to 1,000. I want to break 1,000. I want to keep pumping these videos out, and I need your support. If you've got any feedback on this video, drop it into the comments. If you want to see any specific videos at all, drop it into the comments. I'd love to create for people on demand and on request, because I'm literally giving back to exactly what the people want who are actually watching the videos. Like, that would be a dream for me, because I know I'm creating stuff that can help you and it's going to make an impact to you. So thank you. See you next time.